Well, the new social movements are new in relation to the old ones, obviously. The old ones were what I've already outlined, basically the social democratic parties, the communist parties, and the national liberation movement. And the old ones had the two-step ideology, which was centered on taking power in the state. The new movements basically emerge as critiques of the old movements. Critiques in two ways. One, you left people out. You left us out. You left women out. You left minority groups out. You left all sorts of people out. So even if you brought about reforms, they weren't reforms for everybody. You forgot us. That's one kind of critique. And the second is taking state power didn't seem to have worked, so maybe we should think about something else. Global, local, etc. And maybe we should think about other issues than just, quote, economic issues, by which people meant wage issues, organization of work issues, etc. Well, the new social movements pushed this argument. Now, at one level, they're very successful. They're very successful in that if you pick up any newspaper or magazine that considers itself somewhere on the left politically, and compare an issue of 1955 with an issue of 1999, and you will see that the complaints of the new social movements are taken seriously in 1999, and they weren't in 1955 or 65. So in that sense, they're successful. They've made their point, and people have heard it. On the other hand, they have come along and said, we're going to do things in a new way. And it's not quite clear that they have, in fact, done things in a new way. The green movements are a very good example of that. They were going to somehow not repeat the errors of the Social Democrats, but eventually they had their internal fights and they were taken over by what I would call a new variant of Social Democrats using tactics that are not strongly different from them. They're replacing the Social Democrats, but they're not changing the format. That's been one of the problems with the women's movement as well. So they've had their voice heard, but their promise to be truly new has not yet been fulfilled, which has left a void. People are feeling uncomfortable. There's no question. They are looking. They are talking. Look, if I can get back to the idea that the world system is in crisis. If it's in crisis, if it's collapsing, one has to say, what are people with power and privilege going to do? And I can tell you what they're going to do. That's very clear. They're going to try to figure out how to put into place a new system, because the old system is no longer working, that will somehow, in a new form, reproduce their power and privilege. Okay? And since they're intelligent and be wealthy and C powerful, I'm sure they'll come up with some very interesting, important structures and ideas, and they may well succeed. What can run counter to that, obviously, are movements that would try to transform the world in a more democratic and egalitarian direction.